Hey guys, what's going on? In this video, I'm going to be talking about selling 0 DTE, days to expiration puts for consistent cash flow. And I just want to ask you, why did the trader sell a 0 DTE option? Because he needed a quick expiration. All right, that joke wasn't too funny for the people that got it. But all right, so we're gonna make some cash flow, and this is really important because 0 DTE options are actually something I really enjoy doing. Now, I will say that typically, you do need a little bit larger account, to be honest, but you can still do this with a smaller account. In fact, I'm going to show you an example of both a small account trade and a large account trade. But me personally, I do this more with large account trades. And the first position you will actually see open right here is going to be a QQQ 253 put that I sold yesterday and has so far made $440. Now, this is a very consistent and easy strategy because what I am doing, and I'm going to give you some more mechanics and dive under the hood in just a second, is I'm basically selling an option that's expiring either on the same day or literally in 24 hours. And I really like doing that because, well, there's limited risk because that option expires the same exact day. So unless the market is going to have some crazy volatility within an intraday move, like let's say the Fed is going to report something, then most likely if you sell an option that has a 10% delta, in all honesty, that option might not even get executed, maybe even like 95, 98% of the time. And that's because in the short term, delta can be overstated actually. So a 0 days to expiration option may say 10 delta, but in my experience, I can be consistent like 25 days in a row on that type of position because, well, if you do this on an index fund like QQQ, which is a NASDAQ index fund, and you do this like 3% of the money, I mean, QQQ, the index fund, is probably not going to move 3% in one day. If the day starts off, up a little bit, down a little bit, sideways, it doesn't even matter. A 3% move in a day only really happens like 10 times a year. And there's like 250 days of trading in a year. So the chances of that happening is super low. In fact, that's about a 4%. And typically the delta would be 10. So you get that discrepancy of 10 delta and 4 delta. That's 6 delta. That's yours to keep. And that is obviously the risk volatility premium because sometimes it will move a lot and you will have some issues. But all you have to really do is then close out that position. It's not that hard to manage. You sell a 0 days to expiration option. If it goes against you, like once a month, you just close it out for a small loss or even a medium-sized loss, and that's fine because all the little premium that you collect for like 19 days in a row is going to be more than the 1 day of loss. So another benefit of doing a 0 days until expiration option is that the time decay is extremely fast. In fact, when I'm selling an option that has like $9 to it, as I'm trading it, it'll oftentimes go from like $9 to $8 very quickly. And that's because if you sell an option at 10 a.m. Eastern or 11 a.m. Eastern, and that option expires at 4 p.m. Eastern, well, it's going to be decaying 100% within the next like 5 or 6 hours. So obviously, very fast reward and very limited risk. But again, you're not actually going to make that much money because you're just filling up a cup of water really, really fast and you're chugging it and then that's it. But it is really nice because it's consistent. So honestly, I've been doing this every single day for the past like 2 weeks because I'm pretty bearish on the market. Something that people don't understand is, yeah, I was a Tesla bull, I was a Palantir bull, but I actually don't have it in my portfolio. Like if you look, I don't have Tesla and I don't really have Palantir. In fact, I'm making money on Tesla as it falls lower by doing call quoted spreads. And I'm only updating this on Discord because it's really impossible for me to update every single trade that I make, which I do like 15, 20 trades a week. So you're always welcome to check that out in the first description below. Now, I also do like selling options like this because, well, right now I don't want to be fully invested in the market. The market is very shaky, it's a bear market. So rather than holding cash, if I sell a 0 days to expiration option, it's very low risk and I can still make like $400 a day. Granted, I am obviously trading a large amount of money. But as you can see here, I did make a short-term put sell on Palantir. I actually did this today, and so far it's down $2. Well, basically it's flat. But if you actually think about it, you can also do weekly options on Palantir, or you can do this on Fridays. So if Palantir has an option expiration on Friday, you can literally sell the same day. But typically I do like to do this on SPY, and I also like to do this on QQQ. Now, an alternative to selling puts, because not everyone has the collateral in their portfolio, is you can actually do a put credit spread instead. So if I go to trade options, I can just go to sell put option. And as you can see here, today's the 29th, and I can actually do a put credit spread today. And well, the market closes in like 30 minutes, but check this out. Let's say I do it for tomorrow, the last day of the year. So expiration is December 30. What I can do is I can literally go for the same day. So let me go down to 378 and the delta is 11, okay? So super low delta. I can sell this and then buy the next leg lower from 378 to 377, and boom, you have a credit of, roughly $6 on 94. Now, granted, I know some people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to risk $100 to make 6. Well, yeah, on the surface level, it doesn't sound really that good, but if you can win $6, or now it's $7 on the screen, if you can win $7 100 times, that's going to be $700. And then if you lose, heck, 3 times, then you're still going to come out with 700 minus like $300, which is $400 worth of profit. So the strategy is pretty good. Even if you don't have large account to sell put options, you can still use your collateral and do put credit spreads instead of selling puts if you have a smaller amount of capital. Now, one other reason that I do like to sell options that are like 1 day away or even 0 days away, so that would be the same day, is because the risk is low, but also because I don't have to hold it overnight. So sometimes, and for some people that are more emotional in their trading, it kind of sucks when you have to hold something overnight because you're always wondering, is tomorrow going to be a green day? Is tomorrow going to be a red day? Where's the market going to open? And with this strategy, you really don't have to worry about that because wherever the market is today, like for example, the market is up, let's say 1.68%, and this is a very steady graph upwards, like I'm up 32K, it's very unlikely that the market is suddenly just going to drop down to 0 in the next, hour or 2 hours. So if you end up selling a delta that's 10, or if you just end up picking a point like, let's say it's a green day and the market started off at, let's say, whatever, it was flat and it's up 1.68%, you can bet that it's not going to go down to 0. So whatever that strike is. So for example, let's go back to SPY. Okay, let's say that SPY started the day at roughly 380. That's really, really convenient. So what you can do is you can just sell a 380 put, or you can also go for a 380, 378 put credit spread. So it's super convenient. It's lower risk. It's pretty decent reward. I want to say the reward can be pretty high actually, especially on red days because, well, what happens is when there's a red day, implied volatility actually goes up because there's a lot of panic, there's a lot of fear. And the more fear and panic there is, the higher the implied volatility will be. And the higher the implied volatility, the more you can collect from selling 0 DTE options. So as you can see in my portfolio, in the next about 25 minutes or so, this QQQ position is going to have 100% gain because it's still out of the money and it's going to expire in just about 25 minutes. So I'm going to make another $40 in 25 minutes. So it's very convenient and easy. But as you can tell, I'm also doing weekly selling put options. So right now I have a covered call here, but if I scroll down, you can see Palantir 6 put. If I keep going down, I have a Tesla Iron Condor actually. Let's see, I have Oatly sell put. I have another Oatly sell put. I actually sold the $1 Oatly put today. And wow, we're up already $100. So I just opened this up this morning, like literally on my coaching session 5 hours ago. Super small position, like tiny. This is oh my gosh, this is $700. So I'm up $100 on 700. That's insane. That's like a 1/7 return, which is roughly like 15% or so. So 15% in just one day. And that's the power of selling put options. And to be honest, when I read about put options back when I was in college and I first got introduced to it, I was thinking to myself, you actually get paid to buy a stock lower than what the price is today. That's insane. It's like if your house is 200,000 and everyone's house is 200,000, and then you basically go up to your neighbor and say, hey, I want to buy your house, in the next 6 months or so. He's like, yeah, sure. You can buy it if it goes to 180,000. And, I'll give you a couple grand for that. You're like, what? I want to buy your house. And you're telling me you're going to pay me to buy your house? And then you're also going to let me buy your house only if it hits 180,000. I would love it, at 200, but heck, at 180, yeah, that's even better. So that is literally like the power of selling put options, and I don't really understand why more people don't sell put options. Now, granted, I know some people are trying to grow a small account and they're doing all these crazy butterfly strategies and barracudas and Santa Claus trees and all kinds of stuff like that. And that's cool. It's a lot more work, but selling put options is really, really easy. It takes like 5 minutes. So let me know, has anyone tried this strategy? I think it's one of the most overpowered strategies, especially if you have cash laying around, you don't know what to do with it, and you don't really want to commit to the market because we're in a bear market. So I can see the strategy working very well for people that have a lot of cash on the side. And heck, if you're an experienced trader, you can also sell put options on margin. Now, again, be careful. I'm not telling you to go sell puts on margin. Like, that's something crazy that most people should not do because they don't know how to do it. But if you have a consistent track record of like 6 months of profits, especially if you're in my Discord community, I do go over that because you can gain a lot of leverage off of using margin. But if you don't use margin correctly, you are absolutely going to lose your shirt. But over the past 9 years, I honestly haven't even had a margin call. I've had one, and that was during it was actually after the pandemic. It was in 2021 at the very, very lowest point of 2021. And even at that very low point, to be honest, on $1 million, I had like $1 million, I think it was $1 million, 1.2 million or something like that. And I got the margin call and it said, Robinhood told me, like, you have to deposit money. I'm like, oh gosh, it's gonna be a lot of money. It said you have to deposit $1,300. And I'm like, psh, that's nothing compared to my portfolio size. So it's really difficult to get in trouble with margin if you know what you're doing. But if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna absolutely blow up your account. So please be careful, please manage your risk. Please make sure that you manage every single position. Don't over leverage in any one position. If you're going to sell options 0 days until expiration, also make sure that it's not too large of a percentage of your portfolio. However, because I do this strategy basically on ETFs are very safe because they're very diversified. So keep that in mind. Good luck with your trading and Happy New Year.